Ardhana and start the session. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Annado Sri Jagannatha Madguru Sri Jagadguru Mamatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. The only guru of three religions, Traitatiram originator, sensational writer, Hindu virtue donor, the emperor of spiritual kingdom, Sri 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 Acharya Prabodhananda Yogeshwaran. We are learning Traitatiram Bhagavad Gita interpreted by Sri 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 Acharya Prabodhananda Yogeshwaran. Let us pray our Guru to make us understand his wisdom in a right way. Om Gurave Namaha. Last week we learned from 3rd Slokam to 5th Slokam from Kshetragna Vibhaga Yogam. So let us recap the meaning what we learned last week. From 3rd Slokam, know me as I am the Kshetragna in all bodies. So Bhagavan is saying that he is being Kshetragna in all bodies. Know him as Kshetragna. So he is saying that, so knowing about the knowledge of the body and Atma in the body is the real wisdom. Then he said, listen to me as I am saying briefly about what that Kshetra is, what that is, what the changes are, from where that changes have born, who is Kshetragna, what influence does he have. Then the matters about Atma and body are said by the saints Vedas and the Brahma Sutras, which are made as doctrine with the reason. Let us know the wisdom which was decided by the elders. So we learned up to 5th Slokam last week. Let us move on to 6th Slokam onwards today. 6th and 7th slokas both are at one place, given the meaning and interpretation for them. Those two slokas are talking about the Prakriti, the nature. Let us see what these slokas are. Mahabhutanyahangkaro buddhiravyaktameva cha indriyani dashaikancha panchendriyagocharaha इच्छा द्वेष सुखम दुःखम संघातचेतनाधृतिः एतत् क्षेत्रं समासेन सविकारमुदाहृतम्. What is he talking about these two slokams here? The great bhutas like Jivatma and Atma, he is saying that there are great bhutas, two great bhutas which are Jivatma and Atma. The non-manifested inward senses like intellect, ego, etc., the 10 senses, which are aggregated, and the invisible 5 senses. The aggregate living symptoms like love, envy, pleasure and distress, braveness, fear and interest, and the body which is said as Kshetra has many vikaras in it. There are so many vikaras in the body as well. So if you go in-depth meaning, in-depth description or explanation about these two slokas, in the 6th slokam he mentioned Indriyani Dashaikancha. So the word says Dashaikam means 10 parts aggregated and they are called as one unit. But some authors, what they understood, it's 11. The meaning is 11. When you say Ekam Dasha, that means 11. But when you say Dashaikam, that means 10 parts tied together and represented as single unit here. So Dashaika means 10 exist as one, means 10 is a group. 10 Indriyas as one group. 10 organs as one group. It must be known that here it said 10 senses are one group, 5 senses are one group. 5 senses are one group. Here the visible 10 senses are said as one group. So he is telling about visible 10 senses which are the parts of the physical body. The invisible 5 senses are said separately. So he told about invisible 5 senses separately. So by saying separately the visible and the invisible, and these 10 exist as one, remaining 5 exist separately, Bhagavan said, Indriyani dashaikancha panchendriya gocharaha. Besides, in the 6th verse, Mahabhuta, the word Mahabhuta he used in this slokam in the beginning itself. The meaning of this one is Jivatma and Atma, mortal soul and immortal soul. Some people mistakenly referred that as Panchabhutas. Our body is made up with 5 elements. Again, there is no meaning telling that Mahabhutas means Panchabhutas in the body. So, here the actual meaning of Mahabhutas is mortal soul and immortal soul. So the meaning of word Mahabhuta is is not the 5 elements. It must be understood that Jivatma and Atma. So in a living body there exists Jivatma and Atma. They are not visible at all. They are called Bhutas. In the same way, there are 9 invisible entities. They are intellect, ego, mind, chittam, and the 5 airs are there: prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. And again, there are 10 visible senses, which are called senses of action, senses of perception. And there are 5 invisible powers of senses of sensible organs are there. So it must be known that the visible parts, what are the visible parts? Eye, ear, tongue, nose, hands, mouth, anus, and the sex organ are a group. And invisible powers of senses are seeing, hearing, smell, touch, and taste. So when we calculate all of them, when we sum all of them, what is the number? The number comes 26. There are 2 Mahabhutas, Jivatma and Atma, and non-manifested inner entities are 9. That 9 contains 5 airs, and intellect, mind, ego, chittam. So they are 9. The visible 10 senses are there, visible 10, actionable organs 5, sensible organs 5. Then the invisible senses. So the invisible senses are the powers of the sensible organs. They are 5. Totally 26 parts. Likewise, Kshetra consists of 24 parts and 2 Atmas. Besides, it must be known that the Kshetra called body exists with the dispositions like, so the body also contains dispositions like love and envy. Actually, not just 2, love and envy. So there are 5 good emotions, 5 bad emotions. There are 12. And a jiva, the mortal soul, experiences pleasure and distress. The group of living qualities like interest, braveness, and fear, and have so many changes in the body. So many changes in the body, they are vikaras. So that way, the body, which is called Kshetram, is consists of all those things told in the 6th and 7th slokam. Let us move on to the next set of slokams. The meaning is given at one place from 8th slokam to the 12th slokam. All the slokams are talking about gnanam, the wisdom. So let us see the slokams what he is teaching to us. अमानित्वमदम्भित्वमहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यमात्मविनिग्रहः इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यमनहङ्कार एव च जन्ममृत्युजराव्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम् आसक्तिरनविश्वङ्गः पुत्रदारगृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वमिष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु मयि चानन्ययोगीन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वमरतिर्जनसंसदि आध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतत् ज्ञानम् इति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यदतो अन्यथा. So, what is he preaching here? He who wants to know Atma by the wisdom should not get the pride, hypocrisy, and must have peace, sincerity, non-violence, and have to worship the real gurus. He must be brave with self-control, without interest on the senses, without ego as I am. He has to think about the birth, death, old age, diseases, and distresses are transitory that will come and go. Without having any affection for wife or children or house or land, etc., he must have equality of mind on the pleasure and distress. Without deviation from the devotion by doing the practice of yoga. He should have desire for living at the place where men do not move and wishes detachment from the multitude of men, and has knowledge of spiritual wisdom, that is only the wisdom, else other matters are ignorance. So this is what he told in the meaning. Let us know much more from the description what Swami provided to her. Here he gave the meaning of all 5 slokams at one place. So many persons did not understand the word Bhaktir Vyabhicharini from the slokam 11th one. Maichananya yogena bhaktir vyabhicharini. So, all of sudden, not all of sudden, by encountering to this word bhaktir vyabhicharini, many people might not have understood in a right manner. By thinking themselves what adultery in the devotion is. So, many people don't know what is this adultery in devotion also. So Vyabhichar means which is adultery. That means one has bodily connection with so many people. A person who connects with so many people with the bodily. So that is called adultery. So here in the devotion also, because the devotion is related to the mind. So making connections with so many devatas or demigods through mind and devotion is called committing adultery in the devotion. As one woman makes connections with so many others by leaving her husband is the adultery. That is called committing adultery. Similar way, the mortal soul makes connection with other devatas, leaving Paramatma, who is husband to Jivas. So, Paramatma is husband to Jivas, right? The mortal souls. So, when he is leaving Paramatma and making connections with other demigods, then he is committing the adultery in the devotion. It can be said, how the committing of adultery through the body is wrong. So we say it is a wrong practice of committing adultery with other people, right? Others. Similar way, mental adultery, committing mental adultery through the devotion is also wrong way. As the harlot gets refuge in so many adulterers for the money, so there are so many ha- ha- harlots in the society. So they will refuge in so many adulterers for sake of money itself. Likewise, similar way, man worships by taking refuge in many demigods um, with the hope for the fruits. So he thinks that, oh, if he approaches so and so demigod, he prays to her, prays to that demigod, he is going to get some fruits from that. Such kind of practices, things which are given by the not given by the things which he does, right? So that is adultery. Okay, that is adultery. Actually, from his karma, everything comes to him. By praying some demigods, he is not going to get anything. So many people worship smallest devatas by leaving the Paramatma. The level of devatas is the lowest actually. They are invisible creatures. How we are living, they are also living, but they are present invisibly. They don't have superpowers or anything. They are also part of the creation. So they are not considered as God. So we have only one God, that is Paramatma, absolute soul, who is he is the originator and bears the entire universe. He is husband to us. These days, devotion is not so much on God, the single God, absolute soul. So in the world, if you consider the population, but some devotion is on the devatas. They have devotion on the devatas, but not on God at all. If we take 1,000 devotees, even one among them can't be devoted to the Paramatma. They don't even think about Paramatma, the absolute soul. Even 1,000 devotees do not have devotion to one God. So it is astonishing fact that 10,000 devatas exist for 1,000 devotees. There are the devotees who pray multiple number of demigods, 10 or 11 or 12, whatever it may be. So many demigods photos will be there. He will be praying each one of them. That way, if we calculate, it comes the number like 10,000. So Bhagavan revealed that it was not the right method. Bhagavan clearly said the method which these devotees are following is not at all a right method. And it was ignorance, and any devata couldn't be worshipped except Paramatma. So do not worship any demigod. You worship only Paramatma. That's all. Only one God is the Paramatma. He further revealed that increasing the attention to the Paramatma by leaving the attention to the Devatas was the wisdom. So put your whole attention on Paramatma, not on any demigods. If you continue like that, if you increase your attention on Absolute Soul, that becomes the wisdom. All other things are considered as ignorance. Let us stop here. Let us do Mangala Prarthana and end the session. Om Mangalam Gurudevaya Mahaniya Prabodhatmane Sarvaloka Sharanyaya Sadharupaya Mangalam. Prabodhatnam to everyone.